She tried to run somebody over with her car, and the guy defended himself when that happened. Next question.
The investigation is still ongoing.
I said next question.
If you listen to the Vice President's press conference, you can see some key truths that should be known to all Americans, in that one, they are actively lying to all of us. They are claiming that Renee Nicole Good was some sort of radical far leftist who ran into an ICE agent. However, if you watch the video for yourself, or you can see this breakdown by the New York Times, you can see that she was most likely almost 99% trying to get away, or she was simply just confused by what was going on. This is highlighted by Good waving people to pass her, which is a common American custom, and one car did pass her, and another car that she waved forward, a silver truck, stopped because ICE agents exited before she was shot. Another highlight is the fact that the direction of her tires do not indicate any intent for her to actually run over someone. She was merely simply trying to get away. Under no circumstances, however, does this justify her being shot. Vance is also rationalizing this and attempting to dehumanize Good by claiming that she was a radical leftist. Being a radical leftist is not a crime in the United States. We have freedom of speech and a freedom of assembly. It's also important to note that this is so much more farcical than it was last year. Last year, the argument was that Trump was going to fund ICE so that we could go after the violent criminals and stop the problem of illegal immigration. Now, they are justifying attacks on people claiming that they are leftists. You also have every right to, and you honestly should feel insulted by the way that Vance goes out of his way to overly humanize and rationalize the actions of Jonathan Ross, the ICE agent who shot Renee Nicole Good, by claiming that he was going through some sort of psychological trauma, or the repeat of psychological trauma. That is a very serious problem, and that maybe should disqualify you from service that requires you to carry a firearm. This is the latest of J.D. Vance defending things such as war crimes regarding Venezuela, pedophilia regarding the Epstein files, and many other things that he's done in order to seek power for himself. But the important thing to understand is that Congress isn't really doing anything to stop Trump from acting in his capacity, and it's likely that we are again going to see an escalation of violence now that I've heard that 2 more people have been shot by ICE in Portland, Oregon. So when an administration is acting this way, when they are acting with impunity, when they are openly denying evidence placed in front of you, what is the best way to respond? Well, that's where things get difficult. In my opinion, the most powerful thing to do is to assemble, and not just assemble, but also assemble with arms. In this situation where you're dealing with violence led by the state, then you must respond with self-defense led by the people. And that's something that scares me to say, but I believe it's becoming necessary more and more every single day. Another thing I want to highlight is that the current administration is most likely, and in my opinion definitely, is targeting Minnesota for lots of different reasons. It's politically motivated because of people like Tim Walz and Ilhan Omar, people that Trump actively despises, and it might also be because Trump is trying to invoke the Insurrection Act if there is more and more violence over time. The whole situation also has a lot of different factors that come into play. For instance, there's the factor of optics, in that you can utilize certain things regarding optics. For instance, you can record everything that ICE agents do, but how you portray yourself can also be instrumental in turning public opinion away from ICE. So for instance, during the Civil Rights Movement, Martin Luther King has black activists wear their best clothes. A lot of them are in suits and dresses. He does this because it looks ridiculous to see police officers beating up or hosing down activists who are dressed formally and acting non-violently. There's also what's known as tactical frivolity. You have people who look ridiculous, and then you have the person who says, arrest me daddy, in front of ICE agents. And that again turns public opinion away from ICE because it becomes very clear that they are just going after people they don't like as opposed to actually trying to do their job. What's also interesting is that if someone was really trying to resist against any type of agency or really trying to impede operations, they wouldn't need to do a whole lot in order to accomplish that goal. I mean, like looking at history like the French Resistance in World War II, or even just how Russian operatives get in the head of people that they're trying to manipulate, it can be something as simple as moving car keys from one place to another, or misplacing a document, or providing them with information that isn't really that relevant. Either way, look at what this administration has done in the past month. They were ordered by Congress to release the entirety of the Epstein files, and yet they refused to do so. Then they ignored international law and kidnapped Nicolas Maduro from Venezuela, something that they did not have the right to do. Then they're actively denying video evidence that shows that a federal agent murdered a nonviolent bystander, and now they're saying that it's justified by claiming that they were part of some radical leftist organization, one that is yet to be named. What are you supposed to do if the president ignores Congress, then ignores international law, then ignores and actively denies video evidence showing that a federal agent killed someone unnecessarily? What are you supposed to do if the reality that you're supposed to accept is that if a federal agent shoots a civilian in cold blood, then they have absolute immunity under the law, as per the words of the vice president? How is someone supposed to accept that reality and then understand that they live in a free state?